And the speedrun continues. The hanging e-pawn speedrun. Back like it never left. It's too easy. We continue yet another 100 points. Feels good, man. Bishop h5, sure. Let's take, let's bring the knight back. Just trading here, I mean, I'm happy enough. f5, I think we can just go here. We also have a couple checks waiting in tow. Yeah, I think we'll castle. Some useful moves there. We can also go f3 maybe. Might be good. What do we want to do here? I mean, once you guys win the pawn, obviously we're not going to sit here and set up the exact same setup. It's just going to be worse. We're going to be down a couple moves. So once you win the pawn, I mean, it's a free-for-all. I don't need to teach you a system at that point. You've got all the ingredients you need. You're up a pawn on move 1. I don't want to hear it. I've delivered you the best possible outcome. I mean, he can take here, but I don't know that I'm that bothered by that. Let's try this. Okay. So now probably king h1. We could take here. Queen takes. There's also queen f2. Nice little bait. For the puzzle rush? Surely. Surely. Oh no. I didn't see the pin. Ah, dang. He was on to me. Well, it looks like this will be a win, but unfortunately, he does have rook d6. So my hope is that he sees this and realizes, oh, that's bad, and then doesn't play this. Because if he blunders d5, it could actually work out better for him. Okay, the knight has nothing to do except return. Looks like a pretty nice position, if I do say so myself. I think we have this after knight d5. Should hold things together. Yes, we are still in a pin, but not overly concerned. Maybe we can go here. Oops. Wow. Put him out of his misery there. He did fall for something at least. GG. Nothing I can say about this, guys. I mean, you're winning a free pawn at the start of the game. I've done my job. I have done my job here. All right. E6. Let's make sure to set this up properly. E5, we always just take and bring the knight. So this, remember, start with E5. Make sure when the bishop is there, we're ready to go like that. And on D4, we'll go back to knight D7. Always recapturing with the pawn. c6, very important move. The feel-good move of the entire system. Okay, we're used to this move, right? We're gonna play a5 as well. Interesting. So he's in a rush to go there. Might be able to slot that piece in as well. But let's think here. If we play, I don't know, maybe he's gonna go knight h4 next. What do we want to do? Bishop back, knight h4. Yeah, I think I might play g6. So knight h4, we can play king g7. I was wrestling with bishop f8, which would be very standard for us. And I didn't really like... Okay, let's go here, I suppose. Or actually, yeah, bishop back covers everything as well. Knight h4, we still may need to move our king. Queen e2. Okay, so he's kind of just shuffling everywhere. Now let's play knight h5. Knight f4. Yeah, I think we'll play knight f4. Might not be the best move, but it looks all right. It definitely looks all right. He's not taking it. He's not biting. Okay, we'll play knight c5. I guess we want to put the knight on e6 here. It's really hard to imagine him not playing, yeah, takes. That's what I was going to say. Takes is too natural of a move, I think, to keep ignoring. I want to move this bishop and play rook d8. Where we're going to move the bishop, I'm not sure. Obviously, bishop e6 is tempting. Wow, okay. It's tempting, and there it is. It's we can play it. I'm going to play knight d7. I think that I want to stop my opponent from playing that. We'll see if that works. g5, believe me, I'm not thrilled to play that move. I think we just open everything up here. Ugh. f6 is so wrong. We got to go with the bishop here. Once we get the knight to e5, I promise everything's going to be okay. But I'm stressing trying to get it there. Once it's there, feels like everything falls into place. Okay, b3 is exactly the kind of move we want to see. Who knows if it's actually good? I'm sure it's a decent move, but that's the kind of slow move, not really threatening anything. Exactly what we need. Both look good. I'll take with the bishop. So I am going to do this check now before he maybe moves and has time to reposition everything. And the reason I'm going to do it is I'm looking at this. Look, it's move 27. My bishop hasn't developed, and I'm feeling great here. I'm not concerned. Not concerned. Okay. Queen f2, bishop d4. I am expecting queen f2. Rook d8 is my next move. Ooh, that could be a good one. I think we're going to take it. Looks like a bad move. Queen e2. This one doesn't really do anything, but queen c5 looks nice. He can't just go here and rook d1 without losing a pawn. So we're pretty happy about that. Here, I guess we have to defend things. I'll go like this. And then knight f2, probably bishop c3. So that we can play rook d2. Oh, I thought knight takes. Yeah, I suppose we'll take that. b5 to make the pass pawn. And yeah, you can probably stop the pawn on a2, but this looks pretty good here. Oh no. Where's the knight going? And will take him out there. That was a good fight. We had, I would say, one of the most standard positions you could ever get, right? Very typical from this opening. The one thing that he did add to the position was this bishop to g3, so it was a bit of a extra thing to think about. But we stuck to our plans. I would say knight h5 is a very normal way that we handle a bishop on g3. We always want to take it. So not too unusual, but definitely slightly new to see us play like g6, knight there, knight f4. And once we got the knight e5, I think black is really doing well here. It was almost 30 moves without moving this bishop, and that was no problem. I was not concerned. d6. Knight f6. Hey, people are still playing e5. I mean, sure. Here, castle, bishop d6. A little bit of a different opening, obviously, when they play e5, but not many people do, and hey, it's really just not that good of a position for our opponent here. Whoa. That's a wicked move there, my guy. All right, let's try to play e4. Like, open everything up. Well, we can take it, but in this case, I believe bishop takes h2. It's very rare that your queen is not defended on its own d1 square. Like, very rare. But there you go. Rook e3 will do that to you. Yeah, knight g4 is painful for sure. Hitting this, and after knight c3, queen takes b2. Feels like everything is getting hit. Rook c1. Just clinging on for dear life. Hope and a dream. Now, let's keep taking pawns. Take everything. Queen to b2 is also a nice move here. I think one that we could have even gone for last turn. And also rook d4, just because if it gets taken, we're taking c1. It's basically like a trade. And because we're up material, a trade is fantastic. Okay, let's give this check. It will need to be blocked somehow, but I think he'll... Well, I was going to say, I think he'll realize that. Maybe not. Bishop here in order to deliver mate looks pretty good, especially because rook g1, queen h2 is mate as well. GG. Kind of breezed through that one. It might just be a coincidence, but most games where people play e5 do not last very long. It's not a very good move. Like, Why would white play an opening where the result of 5 moves by both of us is I have 2 pieces out and white has none? You know? Clearly this is a net negative opening. So never something you should be concerned about. Yes, it means we might not get the setup looking exactly like it usually does, but that's because we have something better. So not going to complain. Kind of the same thing if your opponent hangs the pawn in the middle. Yeah, we might not go and play the setup the exact same way, but we have an extra pawn, so who's complaining? All right, knight f3. Well, you guys know the setup. Feels like we've pretty much got it here. Time to, you know, throw some pawns over there. Queen c2, etc., etc. Okay, f5. I mean, technically takes in g4, you know, wins something here, so I think he's got to do that. I know g4 looks pretty scary, but I mean, scary for my own king. And believe me, I'm probably gonna have to play some good defense here, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna shy away from free material. Rook takes. So the question is just how do we want to take back? And I don't know. I'm actually kind of considering a bunch of moves here. It does feel like maybe bishop takes is better. Bishop e4. I think he'll still decline the trade, but if I'm going to play bishop g2, I'd rather get his bishop out of there. He takes, actually. Pawn takes. I just hate that. Man, the F file is going to be so frustrating to deal with here. So I guess knight takes. Okay, this is workable. King h8. Knight here looks very good. Very good. Because even d5 to block the queen, I mean, we're still playing knight f7. So it's almost like the only move is not this, because we have this check, but queen f8. Allowing the discover check and saying, okay, there's no useful discover checks you can do. But yeah, this will just win immediately. Bishop g5 for some trades. Has to be good. I'm going to keep it real simple and just take. And yeah, I mean, the material that's left on the board is very clearly in our favor. I think at this point, it's not even too relevant, any of the threats that are being made, because we know that these pieces are never going to checkmate us. So the most that will happen is a couple checks we just need to ignore. And yeah, I think taking here makes sense, but don't really want to allow that. So yeah, let's go ahead and take that rook off the board. We know we're not going to... absolutely zero chance we get mated by these pieces, so... yeah, waiting for knight f4 and planning to take. This is nice because we pick this up, and if king g5, then we just get mate in 2. And he's going to resign that. Understandable. It's been tough. But... what did I really do here? I mean, I just kind of sat here, played my system. He played f5. That loses a piece. What do you want me to say? What was I going to do next? b4? Bishop f1 maybe? Yeah, b4, b5 looks good. b4, rook b1, b5 probably. Or b4, bishop b2, b5. And yeah, if he was really committed over here, then I might look to try to make d4 work. Because classic, if your opponent's attacking you, play in the center. Always applies. All right, we got a Canadian. e4, d6. We're going to take our tempo as always. Bishop c4. If knight here, bishop e7, and this is pretty standard stuff. I think this is the main line of the Philidor, actually, what we're looking at here. Always take with the pawn. We're going to go c6 next. Okay, so he does play this. Now, This fully drops a pawn here. I believe that it does. But it's fair to say that there's some kind of counterplay there. Maybe more than he deserves. I don't know. I think the one thing you have to know about this is you never let this happen unless you're winning a pawn. So that's the only reason I would do it. If c6, that's no good. Very bad. So we're either taking this or we're taking this. Those are the only two options as a response to knight d5. Both look extremely good. I'll take on d5. If either one of these pieces take, we're just playing c6. Yeah, c6 is a very, very nice move. Knight c5 tempting, but does drop a pawn. Let's start with a5. We'll most definitely see the a-pawn move here. I was actually thinking of maybe bishop c5. Trade these bishops, get the knight out. Maybe bishop g4. That bishop is annoying. I see it. I see it. I'm annoyed by it. I think bishop here. Yeah, I believe that white is trying to make one of these two moves next. Okay, the important question. Are we taking? The knight is good against the bishop, but that bishop is strong. Very strong from back there. So just have to be sure before we do that. Objectively, probably not the best move. Bishop takes f3. Probably not. So because of that, I think we'll go here. But the thing is, white's about to play queen e3, and we may end up in a very similar position anyway. But we'll see. I'll go back for now, I guess. Ooh, g4's... immediately I'm happy I went back because g4 looks wrong. A little too aggressive. Knight d2 to guard the pawn. Otherwise, I think I'm definitely taking next. Okay, so that move makes perfect sense. Okay, so we'll just bring rook to the d file. I do think this queen on e7 makes a lot of sense. We want to go over there, and queen c4, we have like rook d4. We also had b5 looked like a good move, but rook d4 is great because it hits the pawn and also prepares to double. Here, although maybe something was hanging there, I just think doubling is a pretty obvious way to play. Let's bring the rook all the way back. Knight d3 to f4. I think if we are able to play moves here, those are the ones we like. Yeah, big knight d3 guy. Knight f4 looks crushing, especially with queen h4 coming. That combination after king h2 is nasty. It's basically it's winning. So let's see after knight f4 what gets played. Knight b2, by the way, was okay. Knight b2 was winning the exchange, but I think knight f4 is even better. And obviously hangs a full queen, so that'll be good game. Well, this will most certainly be a checkmate. The question is just where, how. Pick your poison. These two moves get mated immediately. These other ones get checkmated, but just take a couple extra seconds. GG. Have to play king f8, of course. Another successful one for the opening. Yeah, very standard position. Like I said, you can do this, but Personally, the positions here where you're playing without the bishop pair, and they're most likely going to get their pawn back, not forced, but yeah, I would say this is the correct decision. Don't need to entertain any of that. Stick to the setup here. Always pushing the pawns as much as possible, and then, yeah, just brought the pieces to the middle. And just capitalized mainly on our opponent's mistakes. Like, didn't really do that much, just developed the bishop. Okay, kept the pin. This is good, simple stuff, and then rook to the middle and double. Meanwhile, our opponent kind of played g4, wasted time with queen there and back, f3, tons of weaknesses. Okay, we're going to start with knight f3. We want e4 next. I like an early c3 against Fianchetto. Feels like the right thing to do. And knight c5, queen c2 always supports that that pawn. Okay, bishop e6 doesn't really look like it does anything, to be honest. We have a couple good moves to attack it, but I'm first just gonna stick with our setup. Rook e1. Okay, I'm gonna go bishop f1, just add the rook to that pawn. Knight to d4, knight to g5 are definitely looking like good moves here. h3 looks moderately useful. Okay, time to get that knight back. And then maybe knight d4 after that, we could just take that bishop. That looks pretty good. That bishop has nowhere to go, so we are going to take it. And I don't see a way that you can prevent pawn takes unless you go queen there. But that that move looks like it runs into its own problems. I mean, what a decision to play that. I'm concerned for him here. He may, doggone it, he may get away with it. But this looks very concerning. Knight f3. I don't know. I'm trying to... I guess we're going to go knight f3. I'm trying to make e5 work. I'm trying to take. Knight here takes an f4 I was looking at. Really only has one square because queen there I think will take at that point. And then with bishop c4 coming, has to be good. I don't know that for sure, but... So it takes bishop c4, you'd think is crushing, but knight h5, bishop takes, king h8, and how do I defend f4? I'm actually sitting there a little bit concerned. Not that easy. We're kind of overextended a little bit here. Yeah, we definitely want to double the pawns, but can't help but feel that we don't really have the right follow-up. It's so fortunate for him, but it's still there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it all of a sudden. It's so weird, but I think it's bad. I think it's bad to take. Can you believe it? Doesn't make any sense. I think it's bad to take. Knight h5 is unstoppable. I can't handle that. That's 3 pieces attacking. Man. Well, yeah, clearly he knew about it, so... Bishop there. Okay, I guess there's some funny reroute going on here. Yeah, knight here is not that dangerous because we can just bring the bishop back and maybe follow up with g4. So, I think this has been fine so far. a5, a3, just, yeah, shore that up. Takes, I think we might actually take that way. Now we want to play c4. I think take with the queen makes sense. can't take back, so I think what we're gonna do is play b6 next. I mean, he keeps offering me pawns. He keeps changing my mind. You know what? I'm gonna stick with it. Not winning a pawn, because I can just, I don't know, I can see this clamp coming down. Like bishop c5. All right. I think knight g5, knight e4, the reroute. Has to be what you play. Queen e7 is a nice friendly blunder for us. That's going to help out a little bit. I don't know. I think I'll just take it. It probably makes things easier. Rook b8 and played that in the wrong order. Meant to play bishop c8 and then there. He's kind of dodging a checkmate here, little by little. But in the end, I guess this should be okay. Do have rook h8. There's not really any move you can play to stop it, which is why I wanted to go rook h1. I can't even fully say it's a mouse slip, more like a move order slip. Thought we had already played bishop c8 in our head, and I was like, oh, bishop c8, that looks good. Yeah, bishop c8, b8, bishop c8, b8, and then I was like, the last thing I said was b8, so I promoted a pawn for no reason. But apart from that, I feel like our opening was very predictable. I mean, nothing special. Bishop f1, h3, all very useful moves. And here, I have to investigate. I thought we were just genius here. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Knight takes e6 is a blunder. It's a blunder. After pawn takes, white is worse. Knight h5 is unstoppable. And a move like this that looks like it stops it doesn't even stop it. Like, there's all sorts of problems here. Definitely not good. Dang, it's so weird to think that that move could be a blunder, but I was not liking the lines I was seeing. Actually was bad. Wow. Couldn't even couldn't predict that, that's for sure. All right, d6. Knight f6. Not e5 because we don't like allowing that queen trade, so knight d7. Knight f3 is the normal move, and this is what you can transpose to 50 different ways. Bishop c4. Okay, bishop b5 is such a bad move when you consider, I mean, he doesn't necessarily know, but if you consider what setup we're going for, obviously bishop b5 is terrible. It's so bad. So everyone is really liking this bishop back kind of move. Okay, we'll do our classic space gaining b5, a5 kind of stuff. Knight back, so sure, let's go forward. Well, that certainly doesn't look like a good move. Going to be able to take this bishop as well. It's very annoying. Definitely one of the most annoying pieces against our setup is that bishop, because it just aims at the queen and it never feels good. Never, ever feels good. I think maybe g6. G6 knight there, and the knight kind of squeaks in everywhere. I feel like it's okay, though. We can handle it. Bishop here has this nice threat, but after rook e1, which looks also like the best move, I feel like it deals with it pretty well. So I'm going to go here, allowing a brief attempt at very good counterplay, but I don't think knight e4 is enough. We'll just move our bishop, bring the rook to d8, and we should be all good here. Also, f5, e4 looks incredibly good. Queen e3, is that a threat? No, I don't think so. Bishop e6 takes, bishop d5, threatening the knight, f4, and then just f6. So I think we can play this. Okay. If f5 takes, then f4 is coming next. That does not look good. So let's actually go a4. Go here, and if knight c5, we can go bishop d5. Looks pretty good. Also, bishop c8 was coming to mind there, tucking the bishop back in. Yeah, the bishop pair should be doing numbers in this position. So even though there's moves like this, and if we take, there's queen e8, it's irrelevant because we're winning a knight in the process. So queen for 2 rooks doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, you can see here, it's a no contest. And king h2, queen here looks pretty good. Bishop here looks good as well. And this will be game over after queen takes h3. We have a couple extra bishops here as well. So it was always going to be good, I think. I think our opponent may have left us, indeed. Hate to see him go, but love to watch him leave. That wasn't too many moves in the end. Just remembering the move order. Now that we're at like 1650, if you're following along, you should definitely have the opening move order as black down solid. I mean, that's just a free tempo for us. In this position, this is what it's all about. h6, rook e8, bishop tuck, queenside expansion. I mean, you guys should have the first 15 plus moves all taken care of. They're the same. e4, d6. Speaking of move orders, we'll take our tempo on the pawn. Knight d7 for e5. We just had this last game. Takes, we always take with the pawn. Bishop c4, we go with the bishop. Bishop b3. I'm thinking c6 is a nice one. It's extremely useful and also comes with a nice little b5 idea. Okay, so b5, b4 might immediately tell me like, oh, I might be winning that pawn, but the bishop can go to d3, so not 100%. I'm gonna go queen c7. Assume we're gonna see a4. We'll go a5. As I maybe start to play high-rated opponents, you might see me be a little more liberal with the move b5, but I've been very conservative for the most part, finishing my setup entirely before going for stuff like this. Sometimes even playing a5 first and then trying for b5. So most of the games we've played end up with pawns kind of like that, but that's not necessarily forced. If we move the rook, then we do deal with knight g5, or we have to at least. So I think this is one where move like h6 makes sense, but then knight to h4, we have to be ready to handle that. And if we go here, as I mentioned, we're dealing with that. So what to play here? I'm thinking about b5 now. I feel like b5 is fair. Okay, he goes a4, which is interesting because that's what I was... that's my move. I was going to play b4. You want to force me to play it? Knight on c5 is looking very nice here. Once again, what's happening? You're trying to force me to play all the good moves? I can definitely see queen c4 played. Both of these bishop moves after queen c4 look good. Queen e4. Now let's break it down here. So the knight was on e4 and it left. And then you played your queen to e4. That's going to be every single time guaranteed. The only square that you can say with certainty is not available for you. The square that the piece was just on. Come on now. Come on now. Attacking f2. I mean, I'm not sure our opponent's going to continue playing. It seems like they are. Although it looks absolutely brutal to play. Rook d8 next. Probably should have played queen b6, but I don't know. It just looks like he's all tied up anyway. Mr. Diego. I think surely this one is too far gone here. I mean, remember, this isn't even like material I won. No, this is a full queen. It's not like queen for something. Yeah, okay. I think it's time to throw in the towel there. Respect. Yeah. C6, castle, normal position here. Queenside expansion, b5, and hey, b5, b4, and just take the pawn in the center. In one way or another, it's still the hanging e-pawn speedrun. Still is. Okay, knight f3, d3. We got knight d2 and e4 coming. Okay, so a fianchetto setup is never bothersome for us. You guys know when I see that bishop there, I always like to give it a quick little nudge just to see. And okay, finally, D. Rohan, the first rating range to actually respond to that move. 1600, took all the way up to 1600. I mean, up till then, people were just letting me take the bishop. It was too easy. Let's play queen here just because takes. I would like to be able to take back with the knight. It's not a big deal. Okay, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really going to sit here and pretend to be bothered by this. Takes, bishop g2, and just most important, we needed to have an answer to this, and we have knight here, so that should be enough. We take there, and yeah, we have a lot of material now. Yeah, so I think he's looking at takes and then f3 there at the end, which doesn't work because we have a number of moves, but it looks like knight e3 in that position would be pretty good. Where does the queen go? I mean, if it goes here or something, we just take a free pawn, and if queen f4, we have rook e4. So that's looking pretty good. Apart from that, we also have rook takes e5. We're going to have 3 pieces for a rook there. And then maybe if we're lazy, we have knight there. So, I don't know. I think we should kind of call it out. So queen f4, rook e4. And any other move, I think we take this pawn. Well, that's certainly not going to be it. We didn't get a full game there because he was so tempted into the sacrifice, but I mean, yeah. h3 should be a good move here because taking is bad, so I'm just baiting him into it. If he goes here, we just go knight g5 and we collect that bishop for real. Any bishop for knight exchange in these systems, like, it's just so good. The light squares are really easy to play on. So that was obviously a blunder by him. But yeah, we're never pressured in this opening. The setup here, we can always go d4, but you'll notice I really hold off on that. I stick to these plans, a little bit easier to follow and a bit more universal. Always going to be decent. Okay. The speed run continues. The speed run continues. Yeah, once you win the pawn, like I said, there's no point in sitting here playing d3, knight d2, trying to get the setup again. It's just, I don't know. It's not worth it. Yeah, this is almost the 1700. Still blundering the e-pawn. We have a very solid position here. Even f4 can happen. I feel like we can go to h3. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Let's go here. He might play g5. He might. But I don't really mind. I'll take queen out here. He can't castle this way, which I actually think he wanted to. Not gonna lie. I can see my opponent very keen to castle and walk into a queen trade, and the crowd goes wild. Castling, threatening to take on f2 with check. And the fans are going absolutely insane for queen e6. An amazing move. How does he do it, folks? Well, we didn't quite get that, did we? What a letdown. I know we were all so excited. Little threat here. Now castling is definitely off the table because it walks right into this. So I think our opponent is going to wise up. Maybe play rook g8, which looks to be almost the only move to defend g5. Yep. Queen here forces that, although, I mean, am I particularly happy to be forcing that? I mean, assuming he doesn't want to trade queens, of course. Yeah, I think we're just long castle. Why the heck not? Queen takes f2, rook f1, queen h5. I mean, that's the type of thing you don't calculate. You just assume is winning. So I'm going to assume that's winning. e4 looks quite good here because it can't be taken. And that's about all the analysis I have for you. d4. Looks good because it can't be taken. Yep, let's keep on pushing. Queen takes f2. The bait. It's still set. I think f4 does look pretty good. Yeah, I think we just go f4. If takes, I don't think we trade. I think we just keep the queens on. He's welcome to sack the queen for 2 rooks. I don't think that will be in his favor. Let's find out. I'm going to go here. I just think the queen is much better than the rooks. I'm not seeing any coordination with his pieces. The rook on d8 is very, very bad. So yeah, you can sack queen for 2 rooks, which is normally better. But I don't know what the ratio is. Maybe like 60-40. Because the queen can outperform the rooks pretty nicely as well. Just take. And let's just pick up this f-pawn. Keep it nice and easy. Rook takes, maybe bishop to h5 or something. And yeah, I guess at lower elos, the queen is always much easier to work with. He doesn't even go for queen for 2 rooks. He just slowly loses. But I have nothing to say. We're dealing with guys who are almost 1700. They're still playing. Knight f3, e5, still. Free pawns over and over and over for us. I don't get it. How can this be a thing? Like, are they pre-moving it? Why not trade knights right away? I don't know. I feel like people are ready for this weird, like, takes. We play e4, they play bishop c5. Like, they're ready for this weird Stafford energy. Just no need to give anybody that. Don't even want to give them the inkling of a Stafford. So I'd rather just go back and just play a position I know is 1,000 times better. Okay. And as we know, these Fianchetto setups do not stop anything we are up to. Okay, f5 is definitely an interesting move. I think I'm probably just going to play c3. I don't know. A lot of things look good here. Taking looks perfectly fine, by the way. Absolutely nothing wrong with taking. I'll play c3. Always fantastic. Bishop takes, of course, just because we don't need to take with the king. Now, taking with the king is not bad, but it's never the case that it's better than if you just played normally. So, no need to be a hero there. Knight g5, definitely a pretty good looking move. I'm going to go bishop f4, though, actually. Let's make a threat. You can never make a mistake making a threat. Come on now. Bishop e2. They also have bishop a4 check. I don't know if that's leading to anything. He does have bishop d7, though. So if he finds bishop d7, which is not that hard to find, it is a backwards move, but I think we should be playing this. Knight c5, pretty much the only move. He does go here. I mean, technically, pawn takes is the best move, you know, if I'm being for real. Yeah, I think we want to go here. But you know what I might do first? Bishop b5. Whoa, what an in-between move. Come on, Hamilton, you're a genius. How did you see that? Let's take this. We want to castle and give check at the same time. And we will have it. We want it. We will have it. And I think knight g5. I like knight g5 here. I wish there was something better, but you know, he's got all sorts of moves to get out of trouble here. You know, we'd love to have some sort of mate. I'm picturing the mating patterns, but I'm not quite seeing them. They're not quite working. This exists. Knight e6 looks a bit better though, because bishop f8 is almost the only move, so he may consider playing it. And again, we still don't have a mate there, but it does look good. Okay, a more active move, so credit to him. That's at least going somewhere. We're gonna take because takes, rook takes, bishop a6. We can hope for a checkmate once again. Yeah, I think we're probably not gonna get it here, folks. Takes. He's on to us. There's no way. We don't have it anymore. Oh, well. I think we'll just go back because I definitely expect b5. And now we can just sort of dance around a little bit with our pieces. And eventually, I mean, we take probably knight c5. Bishop e6 looks amazing. He's got a sack here. He surely has to sack. Okay, he's got a sack here. This has to be too much. Oh my goodness. We just had mate in one. I was going to play bishop e6 no matter what. We had mate in 1 on the board. Look for better. The only reason I point out mate in 1, because obviously we're looking for better, is it's kind of a nice one. I'm not gonna lie. Using 3 minor pieces, it's kind of a nice one. So, you know, small regret. It did look kind of nice. Not gonna lie. That is going to be mate. I don't know how he stops it. Every knight move seems to be hanging. This is hanging something, but over time. Yeah, now we can bring the rook to d7 and hopefully deliver a checkmate here. Delivering a checkmate with 2 rooks plus a bishop can actually be so annoying. You always need to reposition your bishop. It's so disturbing. So I'm going to give a check. I'm going to bring the rook down. And where's my mate? Like, it's possible he makes a mistake and walks into mate. But if he goes here, like, I'm checking. Where is it? You always got to set it up properly. GG. Real shame bishop e7 was quite a nice one. But this is what I'm talking about at the end. Like, let's say he goes here. Where's the mate? It's always so annoying. Because the bishop and the rooks just, they coordinate so poorly. Bishop on c6 is amazing. You always have a mate with that one. Because you put the rooks here and here. Bishop on c6 and just rook a8. But bishop on b6, God, this is like notorious struggle here. Notorious struggle. Trying to checkmate with 3 pieces. It looks like there should be 20 checkmates, and then in fact there's 0. d6, knight f6, collecting our tempo. e5 is still a terrible move. Obviously, you've probably noticed that that move has been phased out as the elo has gone up. I think I will play c6. I'm kind of like 50-50. Like, sometimes I castle c6. I just like c6 because then they can't even play knight d5. It's not like knight d5 is that good. We had one game where they played it. We took. Feel like we got a good position. But still. Let's go here. b4 is not quite possible due to the hanging rook, but he's probably worried about that pawn there. If we move the rook, we do have to deal with knight b5, which is why I'm not really doing anything about it just yet. Let's play a4. I'll go for this idea of trading the bishop. We've done this one before. I assume we'll just see like queen d2, rook d1, the simple moves. Now, there's always bishop e6. It's probably the move we're going to do here because this bishop is just so strong and I can't really move the bishop there. But there's a long game to be played where we try not to trade the bishop at all and just like kind of go like that. I think that's probably a little bit too much for this position. We have a very nice pawn structure over here, so yeah, I think let's just play bishop e6, take. Even though we have the knights here, we'd like to hang on to that bishop. You know, this is completely fine. Knight h4, we have g6. And yeah, obviously, this position is very good. Okay, he's doing the same thing. I will probably also play g6. Just nice to have an escape square. I think we're both happy with that. Knight on e6 is quite well placed. I mean, I'm eyeballing the d4 square. Knight d4 takes. Where does this knight go? Knight b1. And I think that we don't really have any... Yeah, we don't really have anything after that. If we let this happen, then we might drop the pawn. So... rook d6. I mean, In reality, things are probably just trading, but I'll go rook d6, try to maintain the d file. I can see this and queen d2 happening because probably he sees queen d1, drops his pawn, but no. Okay, he's sticking with it, which means I think we can go here. Yeah, probably. Trying to win the d file. I mean, it's not even like I just have the d file. It's not a big deal, but I'm going to treat it like this is a huge win. Like, wow, unbelievable. We have a winning advantage now. I hope he feels that way. But don't underestimate these pawns. We have a much better pawn structure over here. Imagine a knight on c4. Very crippling. So there's a big reason why this opening is very nice, because even in endgames, you are set up for success nicely. If he goes here, yes, we can take, but we're going to be dropping e5 at the end. So this is a reasonably successful way to trade everything. I'll do the same thing. Sure. He does find this because, yeah, again, as I pointed out, that doesn't do anything. So what I'll do is I'll reroute my knight, looking at the c4 square, but also hitting the e4 pawn. I feel like that's a pretty good square for that piece. You can also push, but maybe I'll stay more like this for now. There's no point in the knight being on c5 anymore. And you start to see why this pawn structure is so damn good. Look, the knights can't move anywhere. My knight's starting to go to c4 to win the game. This knight's starting to go here, which also does pretty well. He goes b3. We definitely can't take that. So we have to take here. I think we will go for this one. Yes, a5 can be played, but I think we just bring the king over there. Kind of okay. Let's go here. I'm happy to trade one set of knights. I think we do want to trade in general. Something. Looks like we have a... we're going to get knight there. GG. Definitely came down to the wire there. But at least we managed to pull ahead in a position that looked relatively even. But as I said, don't underestimate this pawn structure. It really is giving us a winning try. Of course, it's a draw. But I just mean that the opponent has a lot to think about. They have their e-pawn to think about. They have knight c4 at all times to think about, so they have to cover it. Knight here, they have knight d4, which my opponent didn't clock in time. So knight d4 just won the pawn. There's just so many little things to watch out for. And yeah, being up that pawn, I can't say this is like a forced win or anything, but one pawn up in a knight endgame, you have good chances. Well, you have the only chances, that's for sure. Kept our... Yeah, we've seen this position a lot. This is like, if you're going to practice one position and get good at it and try to understand it, it's this one right here. He played pretty well, didn't really make mistakes. So we didn't try to force things. We just said, okay, you know, we'll trade, play the position. I am slightly better. And it's really because of this. Because if these pawns were back here and we were making these trades, it would not be the same thing. White could just play b3 and my knights wouldn't have anywhere to go. Okay, we're gonna go knight f3, b3, Knight d2. Get our pawn up to e4. And go for our next series of moves pretty comfortably here. Okay. Well, obviously after this, I don't think he's going to be moving it. I have my doubts. Let's let him show us. Yes. Yes. A diabolical move. Queen c7. Very impressive. Well, I guess we've got to stick with our system. I'm just going to play the usual moves, I guess. Oh my god. A5. Oi, oi, oi. I mean, I guess. Damn. I don't know. Something feels a little bit off about that. Maybe we can have our own fun here by lifting the rook. I don't know what it does, but it looks like it does. Okay, he played c4. Kind of a funny move by the opponent here. We can honestly maybe just go back and then take it, but I think I'm most interested in actually taking and just having my own fun. Sometimes players that play like this, you gotta flip it on them. I'm the one that's gonna play the weird moves here, not you. Let's try it. Okay, I actually like that move by him. Makes a lot of sense. I wonder if we go here, can he actually take? Because we can take this way, insane move, and then maybe capture there, but comes with its own risk. Not sure I'm ready for that. Not sure I'm ready for that. Well, I think I will play knight b5 at the very least. It's it's not one I considered. I'll go ahead and say that. Definitely knight back. Definitely f6. Kind of the only move there. Oh, g5 is not going to work. And the remnants of the attack here. The remnants. G4. He's still on the offensive. Mate could be coming any move here. This looks like the easiest. This is the no stress way of playing. Let's go. F4, H4, G3, you know. GG, Adrian. Couldn't let you out. Had to keep you in the box there. And we are born again at 1700. Feels good. Feels good, man. We're at 1700. Very nice. We made it. We'll take it. Gotta stop and enjoy. Smell the 1700 roses. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of the Philidor speedrun. This opening has been super successful for me, and I hope you guys are experiencing the same elo boost. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.